Welding Academy. We're gonna do some live rates today. Um, yeah, so
You ready?
let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm ready. What's up, guys?
So I guess to start, we're gonna start with Seth Whitley, age 16, TIG weld, and I don't have much to say other than that's a gorgeous weld. It's beautiful.
That's a really nice weld. Solid 10 out of 10 weld. If that's really you laying that down, Seth, you have a really bright future ahead of you.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. If you can do that at age 16, I can't wait what you can do when you're 20.
Yes, sir. Keep going. Keep pushing yourself. Ooh,
Michael, age 17, stick weld. That's
a lot of fill in there. That is a lot of welding going on.
I think it's a 1-inch plate.
Keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Oh, yeah.
So
There's a lot of stacking beads there.
it looks pretty good. The only thing I'd say is use your runoff tabs a little more. That way you're not getting that concavity right on the edge of your plate. Actually use your weld off tabs. But other than that, it looks pretty good. Looks like the toe lines could be a little bit straighter, but your consistency through the beads and everything looks awesome. Maybe get rid of some of them beads, that little bit of spatter up on the top. But
Yeah, he cleaned it really well. I like that. Really no undercut. I like that too. Only one little area where he has a little concave right in here, but other than that, everything is pretty solid. No undercut on the sides. I give it a solid 7 out of 10.
I'll give it an 8. Just use them runoff tabs a little bit more. It's clean.
It's really clean. A little porosity at the end, but
Ooh, some dual shield.
dual shield.
Jeremiah Charles, age 17. Yeah, dual shield. It looks like it's a fill pass. Looks like it's not quite done, but
Yeah, looks like it still needs to be capped out.
all I can say is keep your steps just a little bit tighter. That way you don't get those little pockets in the corners, but
Other than
8
that,
out of
pretty,
10.
pretty clean. Nice single slag there. Nice flex on them. Yeah, solid 8 out of 10. Keep going. Keep pushing.
Nice flux on them.
Flux. Yeah,
Little
flux,
flux
on
on
them. Yeah.
Oh, Andrew Strout, age 19, MIG weld. There's a lot of MIG today.
A lot of MIG. Yeah, first thing kind of stands out is the steps. I'd say tighten up them steps a little bit. That bottom is a lot of undercut. Maybe need another pass there. All at the bottom here. See that whole toe line, that whole bevel edge there.
It looks like you drug every pass except the top pass. It looks like he drug all of it and then stepped the top bead.
Yeah, he was going really good, and then you see this whole other bead right here too. I don't know what happened here. Maybe he got a little uncomfortable. Kind of slowed down. It's real balled up right there. A lot of metal in that area where everything else is laying real flat.
I would honestly, the first half of that weld, I'd give it like a 9 out of 10. It's beautiful, but right there on the bottom on the right, you get a little congested and just kind of work on keeping consistent steps all the way through your weld.
Yeah, I kind of lost track on where he was running.
Mm-hmm.
I like how he finished though. I like that whole top. Could be a little tighter, but I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 just because of that back half. The
Yeah,
front half looks good. Carson Majors, age 16, haven't been stick welding too long, a couple months. 60-10 root, 70-18 cap.
2 to 3 months welding.
I
Need to hold them edges. Hold them edges. Stay out of that middle. Side hold. Side hold. Stay out of the middle. You get that real big crown because you're not holding them sides. Nice and clean. I like how you cleaned everything up. Just work on getting straighter and holding them sides. You're on the right track.
Yeah, on top of holding those sides longer, take smaller steps, especially like right here. You can see it gets real washy stepping forward. If you just step a little bit smaller, it'll tighten those beads up and give it a more consistent look, a little bit straighter toe lines. Just moving a little quick.
I never like to take my rod out of the puddle. If you're doing, maybe it's a vertical weld or
Any type of puddle, any type of puddle cap, yeah.
I like to
leave
keep
it
my
in.
rod in there. Not bad, but if you want to tighten that up and improve your skills, go to appliedtoweld.com. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10, just because those toe lines are all over the place.
A little all over the place. A lot of room for improvement there, though.
Cody Johnson.
Age 32.
The Cody Johnson?
I don't know.
Maybe
No,
Cody
he
Johnson's
just has
a
one for
welder.
has one for fun. Dude, I love this rig though. 2 machines, great truck. Only thing, I'm not a fan of chrome rims. Black them rims out, be doing just fine. Nice bed. I mean, 2 machines. Come on.
Yeah, I guess
What
you
a
can
flex.
run you and your helper.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that truck other than the rims are just a little showy for me. But I love the front end of that. I love that big bumper. Love it being a Ford.
Nice level kit on there.
10.
Great money maker. Obviously, have a nice house. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 just because of the rims.
The
Not a-
spiked lug nuts.
Yeah, I mean, spike lug nuts are definitely half a point on spike lug nuts.
It's just kind of a Texas thing. I thought you'd
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I do. That's what I'm saying. Get it? You know, it's definitely not a negative.
I'm saying it's a negative.
I know you are. I'm saying it's a positive.
Okay.
No, great rig. Heck of a money maker there. 9 out of 10.
10. I like it.
Well, this is a solid work truck here.
I'll say this isn't a welding truck.
No, this thing, unless they got a machine hiding somewhere, that thing is looks like a, like a rescue machine. Can't really tell if if there's a lift hooked on the back of there or what's all really going on with this truck.
I don't even.
Single cab though, got a lot of bedroom. Is that a lawnmower? Is this?
It is a lawnmower.
Right? Is there 2 lawnmowers on there? But hey, if you're out there making money, I'm not gonna knock you. But I'm not sure if this is a true rig truck.
This is a great work truck. Not quite a welding rig.
Yeah, I give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, 5 out of 10. It's not. It's not quite a welding truck.
But hey, if you're making money with that truck, hats off to you. But if you want to be a welder, go to applytoweld.com.
I've been welding
zoom
for
that
2
in?
years, but got really serious about it in these past month. I weld every day in our ag class and have been welding on 2-inch tubing for gate hangers. Age 16, Cooper Bryant.
A little MIG weld.
Looks pretty good. I mean, your toe lines are straight. Your steps are pretty consistent. Like right there at the end, looks like you got a little fast, or maybe just a little hot. But you need to tie in your edges a little more, especially right here. Oh, over here. You're not actually tied in weld to weld. You got a big crack right here. This side looks better. It looks like it's actually tied in. But I'm gonna give this one a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, hit that thing with the wire wheel whenever you're done too. Get all that them BBs, buckshot off of there, whatever y'all want to call it. Clean it up. Got good consistency. Like Jason said, just need to get that tie in around that edge there. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
A photo of my last work. It is my 3rd day that I'm welding at school with like an hour per day. That is unfortunate.
sick.
You need a better welding school, one that will actually give you a full 8 hours a day of welding. But
Unless he's in high school or something, Could be.
what was the age? Does this one
Was-
have an age?
Was he 17, 16?
16.
Oh,
Okay,
16.
so he's in high school.
Yeah, he's in high school. Great start. I don't know what kind of material. It looks like,
Looks like 2 pieces of angle
yeah,
seam welded on the top.
it looks like it's spray painted and galvanized too.
Yeah, the only thing I gotta say is hood time is the most important time when it comes to welding. I mean, we can tell you what you're doing wrong and we can tell you how to fix it, but unless you're getting that hood time to really
Yeah, an hour.
like apply that skill, you're gonna struggle. But the biggest thing I would say is it looks a little globby, like you're running a little cold.
Looks like it needs to be capped off still too. Looks like you got a fill pass in there. I'd like to see another pass right over the top of that to close everything up. Great start at 16, but yeah, an hour a day is if it's your true passion, go to applytoweld.com, get that booth hole payment in. We're gonna get you right.
Got 2
You
years.
can get up
Well,
to
a year and a half.
16 hours of weld a day. It's what you can get here at Western Welding Academy, and you'll be on the right track.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one a 4. I know it's
I'll give it a 5. 5 out of 10. Another fill pass on there, it'd be all right.
dual shoe.
H22.
Blaine Weaver, vertical structural test.
Well, hopefully
mean-
pass your test.
It looks good, just a little curvy on the edges.
Yeah.
Need to straighten it up a little bit, but the beads are consistent. Looks like you started just maybe a little slow, but you started picking up that pace as you moved up a little too.
I was thinking that that left one was started a little fast, and then the other one's a little solid.
The only other thing I could say too is it looks like it's almost a little under full on that first bead, especially towards the end there. If you could
like
ground that out just a little bit, kind of ground it flush, and then put a solid cap on it, that bottom bead wouldn't look like it's being overpowered by that top bead so much.
Yep.
Other than that, though, I mean, it's solid.
Solid. I like the end of it. Looks real solid. That whole bottom looks just like undercut. I'd like to see a side profile photo of this, but hopefully it passed
Use
and
these runoff tabs
get
a
out
lot
there.
better too.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
6 is fair.
That I like that right hand bead a lot better than that first one there on the left. But solid 6 out of 10.
Christian Hayes, age 16, stick weld. Looks pretty good. The first thing I'm going to say is you need to slow down, and you also need to get all your beads running one direction. I know it looks cool that they have the pattern going multiple ways, but that's not the real way. Get all those beads lined up, running the same direction for sure.
You got a real big misstep right in here. Consistency is key. All these need to be tightened up here. Your steps are getting too long. Like I like this section right in here. These are long steps, and then either a mistie in here or big steps right here.
Well, it looks like it's, I mean, if it's 60-10, yes, tighten up those steps, but to me it almost looks like it's 70-18, and if it's 70-18, then you just need to slow down and find a more comfortable drag pattern, so that way those look more consistent. But if you're trying to step 70-18, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know what position he's welding these into. If he's just welding them flat like that, or trying to do some vertical, flipping it around, or. But I give it a 5 out of 10. I'd like to see the steps a little more consistent.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna give this like a 3 out of 10. You need to work on the consistency of your steps. You need to get them going the same direction. You got quite a bit to work on, but I think it'd be easy corrected.
Yeah.
Work on that overlap on your beads
Oh
themselves
yeah,
too. 'Cause
overlap for sure.
got a big gap between your beads. There's quite a bit to unpack here. I think you're in the right direction, but you got lots of learning and growth to do.
And always clean it off real good. Wire wheel it, grind it off, clean your material real good. What'd you say? 3 out of 10?
Yeah,
3.
a little rough.
A little rough. I'll give it a 5 out of 10.
Sergio Rivas, age 19. Dude, for 19, that is an awesome truck.
Awesome truck. Bathtub in it. Get out there and make some money. No.
I
Age
stand
19.
corrected. It's a 6.4.
Yeah.
It is a pretty good truck. I'm not a fan of the 6.4. But, I mean,
Hey,
that'll make you money.
Any
all day.
truck that's got a machine in the back of it ready to go, make some money, is always a bonus. Definitely got room to grow, you know. Build you a nice custom weld bed on there, really slick that thing out there. Get rid of them street tires. Get out on that line. Those street tires ain't gonna do you no good. But I give it a solid 7 out of 10.
It's a nice truck. Yeah, I'll give it a 8. Just don't like that it's a 6.4. Not the best engine Ford ever made. 7.3, you know, just in case you're wondering, the 7.3 is the best Ford motor ever made.
You're just gonna get stuck. You ain't gonna. I mean, you're not gonna be going nowhere too fast.
But I'll get there.
You'll
safe.
get there.
I'm gonna get there, one day. Oh, Devin
Pierce?
Parse.
Parse?
I don't know. Age 16, stick weld. I'm 16. I've been welding for 4 months now. 3G.
4 months. I think you hopefully you're not putting in too many hours a day. I think you need at 4 months. You should probably been progressed a little further, unless I don't know how you're learning or who's teaching you. But 4 months, that's decent time to be welding to get some better beads going.
The biggest thing I'm looking at is, especially in a 3G position, you want to be doing more of a puddle cap or a weave, especially on those smaller, looks like 3/8 plates. But you should be weaving that cap, and also your overlap should go from, I mean, either left to right or right to left. There's no real way to do it, but the fact that you're going left, right, center,
Yeah, dude,
there's a big issue there.
Yeah, just threw that one right in the middle there.
Yeah, so maybe start working on those weaves and those puddle caps rather than stringers. And if you're gonna keep doing stringers, make sure you're running consistently and getting better, good overlap, not stacking it like a pyramid.
For sure.
Other than that,
I don't know this. For 4 months, I mean, maybe you're only welding 30 minutes to an hour a day. Got to get more hood time. More hood time, slow down, find your consistency, and stay comfortable. I'm going to have to give this a 4 out of 10.
I'm gonna give this a 3 again.
Okay. Yep.
3 for a 3G.
But either start, work your way bottom to top, and then don't throw one just down the middle there. All right? Not a pyramid.
Ooh.
I like the bottom one. I don't know if that was his first one or his last one he did.
You are way too cold.
Yeah, it's cold.
Period. Like, I can, even on that bottom bead, you can see how tight those ripples are. It's not that he's moving too fast. Like, dude, you are so cold that bead can barely actually stick to the plate.
Well, that, and I mean, you need to grind all that mill scale off that plate, get it nice and shiny before you start welding on it, and then turn that heat up. And then don't be afraid to get them beads to start touching each other, start overlapping. You don't want them big gaps in between each bead.
Yeah, dude, you need to slow down, you need to turn up, clean your materials, and work on that overlap. So,
yeah, I don't know, that first one or your last one, you're getting way, like, a couple of these are pretty straight, and then you get to that top one, and that thing is just all over the place. That one, he just dragged it real fast. But clean that material. It's going to be a 2 out of 10 for me.
yeah, I'm gonna second that. I'm gonna give that one a 2 out of 10. Sorry, dude, you need a little bit more practice before we get going.
Just start by cleaning that material first. That's step number 1.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
that's pretty. She's still being built. Tyler Howes, age 24.
That's a nice start.
It's a great
Nice.
start.
Extended cab, old Dodge. Nice lift on them. Tires are huge.
Yeah, they are.
That thing is a monster. I can't wait to see that. I hope you send that in one day when it's finished and making money out there on the road.
Looks like old boy found his grandpa's farm truck
Hey.
and decided to rebuild it.
That's
and
awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Heck of a lift on there. Heck of tires. Get you a machine on there one day. Start making some money. I'll give you a 8 out of 10 for the start of it. Send us some new photos when you got her done making money one day.
Yeah, I'm gonna second that. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. The only thing that kind of raises a question with me is it lifted too much to actually do work on?
Hey, maybe he's like 6'5". Maybe,
You never
maybe
know.
he's a
That's the
tall-
only thing I just kind of have a question. Is that thing gonna be a little too tall to use as a workbench when you're out in the field? Other than that, yeah, 8 out of 10. Six months welding TIG. Oh boy,
Joel Rodriguez, age 29.
buddy, you got it down. It looks like
Yeah, you're good to go.
those look
Hopefully you're
beautiful.
making money on that.
Beautiful toe lines, good
Yeah.
consistent steps. 10
Yeah.
out of 10 all day. I
Yeah,
don't
10
have anything bad to say about these.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Hopefully, like I said, you're making money on those welds.
Beautiful. 10 out of 10. Snake belly.
Yes, sir.
7018, been welding for about a year and a half now with all types of rods. Age 16, Aiden Lindley.
That is way too cold.
Mm-hmm.
Way too cold. You got to give us more. You send us some stuff like this. You got to give us some more to look at here. You got to get some more beads down. Clean that material. Turn that machine up.
Work on your overlap.
Yep. Everybody's scared to get them welds touching today.
A little bit, yeah.
Get them welds touching. Get them stacked on each other.
They're supposed to touch, actually. Don't be scared.
You should be able to fit 10 beads on there easy.
When you lay a bead, that second bead goes right on that toe line, and you let that overlap 30, 50% or so, but you make sure that it has overlap. When you're not overlapping those beads, not only are you causing a spot of lack of fusion between the two beads, you can trap slag in there, you can get dirty materials in there, it can become a weak spot. Like, you really need to overlap them beads, work on getting them flat over multiple beads rather than just laying one good bead.
Yep. Get them stacked, clean that material, turn that machine up, and lay some more dimes, dude. I'm going to give it 3 out of 10.
Yeah. Kind of inchworming.
Inchworming, yeah.
Sitting right up on top.
Yeah. So,
Needs to turn up and actually fuse to the plate a little more. 2 for 2 welds.
2 for 2 welds. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
2 out of 10 welds.
Yeah. Them gloves look a little big for him, too. Maybe that's a problem.
Ooh.
We got here a little fabrication going on.
This looks almost like spray transfer. Work with a Fronius welder, have been welding for 3 months and want to continue. What tips do you have? Age 23, Nick Turnbull. The biggest thing I'm noticing, all of it looks,
Pretty
I
solid.
would say, solid. The only
Pretty-
thing is your tie-ins, especially in those circles. This one right here, you can see a little messy, a little heavy on that tie-in. If you scroll up a little bit more. Kind of the same thing here. You kind of have a weak tie-in. You're kind of missing your whole bead right here. Again, further at the top, missing that whole tie-in. You're not quite pulling down far enough into those tie-ins. You're scared. You're stopping right at the front edge when you need to pull all the way back into that button. But it looks good. I'm gonna guess this is spray transfer.
It's pretty solid. Just them tie-ins. I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, the only thing I can say on is when you have your little button here, instead of just pulling right up to that edge and getting scared that you're gonna overfill it, make sure you pull all the way back to that back edge and actually tie into that button. If you don't, well, you're gonna leave the weld shy. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 too. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Give it a quick wire wheel once you're done.
Yep. Clean it up when you're done. Them those voids, those missed tie-ins, could be weak spots in the weld. Be the first area to go.
Be a fun little weld though, big old
Yeah,
S curve.
that's pretty. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat. 8 out of 10. Keep it up, dude. Get them tie-ins.
Colin Cav, age 16, TIG weld. Looks pretty solid.
Looks like he's doing a little
Fillets.
dry walk. Doesn't look like a lot of metal there. Am I saying that correctly? This looks like he's just dry walking it.
He might have. Right there towards the end.
Yeah. Starts off real solid right in here, and then maybe getting too hot in this area here, or just sitting there too long.
Biggest thing I see is just from overheating is you got a little bit of undercut from about here back.
Yeah, maybe
Just the most minimal undercut, but all I gotta say is just hold that wire more to the top edge and pause just a second on that top edge as you're moving. And, well, I mean, if you're running, a 2F fillet, if it's 3F, hold it in the center. But to me, it looks like it's a 2F, a horizontal fillet. And Just hold that top edge a little bit longer, keep that wire towards the top edge, and you'll be all right.
Yep, keep stacking metal in there. Be all right. I give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Just needs to work on the overall consistency of steps a little bit more. Not bad.
Not bad. I'd like to see another angle of that weld.
Oh, Pedro, age 14, stick welding. Not bad. Slow down a little bit.
Age 14, yeah, not bad. Clean that material. Take a grinder to it, or just get it clean as best you can.
So this little spot right here actually is undercut down this edge with slag stuck in the corner. So that's kind of one of the effects of if you're moving too fast, you're not letting those beads fill up. And the easiest way to tell, like mid weld, if your weld is if you're moving too fast or if you're too slow. If you're moving too fast, the puddle is going to go from more of a dime shape, nice half circle on the back edge, and it's going to start getting pointy, just like the ends of these beads are. It's got that real fine point to it. And all that is you're not going slow enough for that metal to wet out into your plate, and it's trying to, but it's you're pulling that heat away from it too quick, and it's not able to spread the way it's supposed to. But it looks good. You just need to slow down a little bit. But for age 14, I'm going to give it a 7.
7? I give it a 7 out of 10. Just a little fast. Slow it down. It'll be just fine. At least he's got some overlap going, finally. Age 14.
Someone's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it, yeah. Just get that material clean and be looking a lot better, I think.
Andrew Morse, age 15, MIG weld, just started about 4 months ago. Well, the biggest thing I'm going to say is you need to clean that material because all of that spatter is coming from your metal just not wanting to stick to straight rust.
Yeah, there's a lot of
You're welding
spatter.
rust to metal right now, and it's not working. It's kind of hard to really judge anything else. Like your settings could potentially be okay, but the fact that you're welding such dirty material, you're never gonna get anywhere. Like you can see all the extra spatter coming off of it. You can see the cold toe lines and the cold roll on the edges just because it won't tie in.
You got a lot of undercut and then a lot of missteps here. A lot of missteps. Just slow down, hold them sides, let that metal fill in, and clean, clean, clean.
I can see that you're kind of whipping it, you're stepping it a little bit, and your steps look consistent, but as you need to turn it up a little. It looks like you need to turn up a little bit harder and clean your material, and you'll have a lot more success. But for now, 3.
I give it 5 out of 10.
Needs to be clean.
Needs to be clean.
If you've been welding for 4 months, you've been around long enough to know to keep the materials clean.
Yeah, and get comfortable. Maybe you're sitting there trying to freehand or something like this. Get posted up, 3 points of contact.
Lydia Schaefer, age 16, stick welding. First time vertical welding.
Dude, that's not
Is
bad,
it
but after you
downhill?
get done, are they running it down?
It looks like it's downhill.
Whenever you get done, hit it with a wire wheel or a brush. Clean it up real good. Not bad as far as I can see. Maybe
The
it's
tie-in looks all right.
right here.
Mm-hmm.
Got some undercut in here. Maybe it's just you're running too hot. Maybe too thin of metal. Just kind of eating away at it. Maybe turn it down a little bit and slow down a little bit.
Kind of trying to figure out what rod it would be. 60-10? I have no idea. Will you scroll out again so I can see the name? It just says stick welding. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if it's vertical and running downhill, it's not 70-18. I mean, if it is, good job, but
Yeah, just needs to be cleaned up. Really tell what's going on.
not bad. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10 for your first time.
First time, you're right. I go 8 out of 10. First time vertical welding. A lot of people struggle with vertical. So you got a lot of consistency in there, which I like. Not a lot of missteps. Everything is pretty tight. So solid 8 out of 10. Just clean it up.
Oh, I hope this doesn't crinkle too loud. Jericho Sala, age 17, stick weld, 3G, 718, 1 inch, gap, dual pass. The only thing I can really say is it looks good. Steps are fairly consistent. Your overlap's great. The only thing I can say is hold those edges just a little bit longer, especially that right edge. You can see that you get like little black pockets right here, and any of those little pockets can trap slag. So I would just, before you run your next pass, hit those toe lines with a grinder, but I would just keep running. It looks pretty good. It looks like you need to use a little bit more of that runoff tab just because you can already see that weld starting to cave over the edge. Actually run that bead all the way up so that runoff tab actually does something.
Yeah, that's
what
what
it's
it's there
supposed to.
for. You're cutting it off. If you're cutting it off right here, there's no point for this runoff tab. Your weld should be up here.
Yep. But
Just hold them sides. Just slow down a little bit.
swim inside that puddle a little bit more rather than jumping up. You'll get a little bit more of a consistent step rather than more of a ropey jump. But I mean, 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10?
All day. Solid weld.
Yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. It's pretty solid. And I like how everything is nice and clean, so always a bonus.
You must be in a good mood today.
Me?
Or maybe I'm in a bad mood.
No. We're
You're being
calling
a
it.
lot nicer.
I think it's been like 50-50.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, I always get a bonus for the cleanliness. So anybody that cleans their welds before and after always gets a bonus.
Just automatic.
Automatic.
Extra points.
Automatic.
For
Extra
keeping
points.
clean.
Yes, sir.
I like it.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
What we got next? Jacob Delaney, 15, in high school. This was my first bevel with a backplate. Sweet, dude. Not bad at all. The only real thing I see is, again, kind of that overlap issue we've been seeing a lot today right here. The rest of it looks awesome. You just have one little spot where I like the overlap to be a little bit more, but the rest of it, especially like the very end over here and that very beginning, is beautiful.
A lot of consistency here. But he said he had a back plate on there?
It's a backer, yeah.
Yeah, because these cutoffs are a little early. If you have a backer, this should all be nice and squared off here. Nice and squared off. Maybe just a little fast right here. A little bit of undercut. Slow down right there. Your top looks pretty solid. Really good consistency. I like that. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10.
8 sounds good.
Yep, nice and clean. 8 out of 10. Solid weld. 15 years old. Keep going, bud.
Yeah, some open root before too long.
Yeah.
We just did this one. There we go. Alex Franklin, age 18. This is my first real-world application of TIG welding. Oh boy. Really pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty solid work.
He's got 2 little stops in there.
Yeah,
and
real thin
tie-ins are awesome.
Yeah, thin metal is always tricky too.
That's aluminum.
Yeah, that's.
I do not like aluminum. I'm not very good at it. I'll be the first to admit it, but it's more
You
of
don't like working that pedal?
No, it's not even that. It just really annoys me. Like I can do it. It's really annoying, and I've tried to stay away from it as much as I could.
No, that's solid work. I like that a lot.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10. Really, no complaints here. Nothing to really change up. Just keep going.
I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 because I only see 2 spots of any black, and the black just basically means that you slightly burnt the metal. But for you to keep that consistent of a weld, keep your heat control that tight to your weld, that consistent beads, that's a 10 out of 10, dude. That's an amazing weld.
Keep going, dude. Keep pushing at it. Doing great.
Eli Morton, age 15, stick welding.
Looks like some have some overlap and some don't have some overlap.
His last 2 beads are definitely your best 2 beads.
Yep. Got big voids right in here, big valleys we call them. No overlap. See right here, nice overlap on these last, like even the last 3. This one still has some overlap, but a little bit of void right in here. This first one started off a little skinny. Got a little fast, just kind of dribbling some metal on that first one. But you kind of, looks like you got comfortable at the end. Started running really good. Didn't start off so hot, but you finished really well.
Speaking of starts, you need to work on your starts. It looks like they were really sticking on you. And then once you got going, you were all right. But, I mean, from first bead to your last bead, it looks like you literally learned how to weld
Yeah.
in the span of that time.
You know what? You know what probably really helped him out is the material started getting hotter. He probably started off too cold, and then by the last couple
That's
beads,
a very good point.
yeah, the material started getting hotter. So I would say, turn your heat up when you first start because your last beads are looking great, and that probably comes from your material heating up. Your first ones are all wanting to ball up on you. So my advice, turn it up whenever you start welding, and keep that overlap, 30, 50% overlap. But Eli, you're on a great start. Great start. Hopefully welding is your passion and you keep going at it, and hope to see you out here at Western Welding Academy in a few years.
I think I'm gonna give the last 2 beads an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, the starts are probably about a 5 out of 10, but you ended probably about 8 out of 10. Keep going. Keep pushing. Turn that heat up when you first start too.
Nick Thomas, age 33.
33 or
I said 33.
oh, you did say 33. That truck goes on for miles. That thing looks like
It's a
limo.
big truck.
Dude, that looks like a 12-foot bed. That thing is massive. That looks
Got
like
everything he needs, color
Yeah.
matched, solid truck. I mean, other than the fact that I feel like that thing drives like a boat.
but
Nothing
got,
wrong with it.
looks like got a great machine on there. It looks like
He's got lock boxes on his leads.
Yeah,
He's
nice
got a
rolls.
big old Lincoln on there. He's got plenty of tanks.
that thing looks just like a money maker.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that thing is huge. I give it an 8 out of 10. Nice custom bed there. Looks like a couple beds in one,
It does. It's a big truck.
Yeah, that thing is big. 8 out of 10. And he blacked out the rims for me. I like that.
What?
He blacked out the rims.
Those look chrome to me, dude.
Did they?
Yeah, those look
Oh,
chrome
they
to
are
me.
chrome. My glasses are making them. Maybe the
those-
first one's black. Go to the first one.
It's still chrome.
Oh, that's chrome. All right, that's the glasses.
Maybe you're just getting old.
That too. That too.
Do they make bifocal Tom Waters? Or?
No, I'm not that old.
Ethan, I don't know how to say your last name. Age 23. 6'7" power stroke.
Dude, great start at 23. Nice older used truck. Didn't go out there and get you a $1,500 a month truck payment on a brand new truck. Just slap some good tires on there, custom weld bed. It's a solid truck. Hopefully you're making good money with that truck. That's a solid 8 out of 10 truck for me.
Yeah, 8 out of 10. It's a 6'7" Ford. Makes money. Can't really complain.
I like this little hood he has here for his machine. It's pretty neat. Good looking truck, dude. Keep going. Keep growing off that truck. Awesome. 8 out of 10.
Peyton Clutters, age 17, stick weld.
Dude, I can't believe, honestly, he got those beads to lay on that dirty, rusty material so flat looking. That guy is running hot.
So you gotta be hot.
You gotta be hot. But
Looks good though. I mean,
it does look good.
this is what happens when you run a hot bead. For
Yeah.
everyone who's running those cold beads and asking for tips, you run those cold beads, it gets that real big hump on it. It doesn't lay flat, doesn't stick to material. Turn that up and burn, let it wet out into that material, and it sits in there real flat.
Dude, besides it just being dirty and rusty looking, but hey, sometimes you got to weld on that stuff when you get out there in the field. You never know what you're going to get. That's a solid 8 out of 10 right there.
I mean, actually, the weld itself I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's a good weld. Nothing wrong with it.
Solid weld, just clean up that material.
Oh boy.
Ben Kelly, age 21, TIG welding, some stainless.
410 stainless diameter buildup. So what? Probably. Dang. That is impressive. He had to have been on the rollout. Maybe.
Did that last bead there? It's I think it's nice. The rest of them look kind of lumpy.
Just dab a little bit.
Dab.
It's dabbing. So he probably just dabbed a little heavy or just a little inconsistent. But
Nice
that's
and clean,
awesome.
good color on that last bead there.
All I know is that's got to be tiny. Like that's.
Yeah, that's
He's probably using like a 16 tungsten and 16-inch wire, like or 332 tungsten 16th wire. But that's small.
yeah, that's pretty impressive for that tight of an area.
Yeah, it's a 10.
Still get great color and looks like pretty solid fusion you got. I give it 8 out of 10. That's
I'll go to 10. That's really impressive.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Good job, dude. Oh, 21. Yeah.
21.
Good job.
Yeah.
We don't get like any older guys. It's
There's a
all a
few,
bunch
yeah.
of young guys in here.
Yeah.
David Davis, age 17, stick weld. It looks like your school doesn't teach as good as our school. Sorry. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually pretty good. The only thing is you got quite a bit of undercut on that top bead, so that's a 4. Is it 4 beads? And it's still got undercut.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
The problem starts with that first bead being so low out of the bevel. You just want that first bead just to kiss that bevel edge. You're coming way out of that bevel. Get that first bead in there a lot more, and then you'll cut down how many more beads it takes to fill it also. You don't need that much metal outside that bevel.
Again, you need to use your runoff plates more. Right here you can see all how low you are, and you can see all the undercut across. You're just not quite full enough. That's not a finished weld. It needs one more bead for that cap, which is not the worst thing in the world, but if you want to do it correctly, do it in fewer beads, do it in a faster time, bring that top bead up, maybe weave the first 1 or 2 just a little bit, stretch out those beads, and then lay a nice little stringer on it. And if you lay it turn down 5-10 amps for that top bead, the plate's already going to be hot. There's no reason to try to cut open the top side of that weld. You want to lay it in there without any undercut. So
It looks like he started welding it one day and then threw it out in the water the next day and then came back and finished welding it out. Because the material looks clean, but then it's dirty. It's all rusted. So that or this, like y'all need to, if y'all are dipping in buckets, y'all need to empty out that water.
But I'm going to give this 5 out of 10.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Ernesto, age 17, stick.
I'm doing a fillet, and the first problem is you're filling that bottom up more than your top. You need to stay consistent. You do the middle, do the bottom, back to the top. This looks like you did the middle, then the bottom, and then possibly like another one at the bottom.
Your long arc and your start's real bad too. There it is. You need to strike up and get into that puddle a little bit quicker. You're sitting there long arcing it for a second and then shoving it in, and you're just shooting porosity into your welds. Once you get in and running, it looks pretty good, but just work on those starts.
And see how much metal you have down here and none up here. You need to start getting them overlaps, some stacks in the correct order.
You just let your first bead fall a little too far, and then now you're trying to cover it up with your second bead, and it's hard.
It's hard. And then just hit that thing with the wire wheel. It'll be just fine. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
7 seems good. 7 out of 10. Just gotta work on that start. Start's ugly.
Yeah. Maybe it's just the material too. It's got a lot of metal at the top. Like its T-joint. It's like
it's not a true
like 2 inch and 1 inch.
Could be.
Yeah.
Elijah Gloria, age 15, MIG welds.
Nice overlap. Got a lot of nice overlap going. Just hit that thing with the wire wheel, clean it off. Before you send some pictures in, we can really get a good look at this.
I just gotta say, slow down just a little bit more consistency. But I mean, it's pretty good welds. There's not much wrong with it.
Yeah, you got a nice straight toe line here, and then it gets a little fast right in here, and then you get back on track again.
I wonder if this is the pattern he's doing.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. 8 out of 10. Just overlaps there. Consistency in a lot of spots are there.
I just like, even with MIG, you're sitting there practicing bead after bead after bead. You know, you can never get enough practice. But I'm gonna do 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it looks like you're ready to be moved on to the next phase. I give it, what'd you say, 7 out of 10? Yeah, I said 8 out of 10. Not bad. Hit it with the wire wheel or a wire brush after you're done with it. Get it nice and clean. Good job.
Oh boy.
Nice little.
Ashton H21 MIG weld. Looks good.
Yeah. Some like structural welding going on here. Pretty solid work here. Nice stacking dimes there. Everything is pretty consistent. I'd like to see maybe a little tighter. Started off real tight here, and then got a little fast here. Other than that, solid weld. 8 out of 10.
I'll do an 8.
I like to see that little trick where they slide that piece of paper to see if it's fused. You ever see those
Oh,
videos?
yeah.
Where it looks like
And
it's
it's
nice and
not
fit, and it's
even.
not. I'd like to see that trick. See them try to slide a piece of paper in between those welds.
You can tell that the bottom's fused real good, but I can see what you're saying.
No, good weld. 8 out of 10.
Mac Nielsen, 2nd week of MIG welding.
Age 16.
That's a weld, dude. Looks
Yeah.
good.
Could hold that bottom or the top, whatever it may be for you. This area right here is you're just moving a little too fast. Just slow it down a little bit. Especially like looking at this, I wonder if this connects here. Looks like definitely you could probably throw another pass on the top of this. Looks like you got a lot of metal down here, and it looks like your toe line is right here. So I would like to see this weld split this more in the middle here. Get this weld up a little higher, if that's how that's fitted together. But other than that, pretty solid, 16 years old.
Slow down just a little bit. Other than that, I mean, I'd like to see maybe a bigger weld. Those looks like a 1-inch weld, maybe a 2-inch if it's 2-inch flat bar. But I'd just like to see something a little bit bigger. I mean, it's good for what it is, but it's very small.
Yeah, give another pass there. I'll give it 7 out of 10.
That sounds good. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Keep it up, Mac.
Arlie, age 17, stick welding. Again, the good use of your runoff tabs, actually using that properly, and even the whole first half of your weld has good overlap, very straight. It looks like it starts to lose that overlap as we continue to move forward. And then again, uses her runoff tabs great again.
Yeah, good use of the runoff tab. The first 2 beads look a little low for me. You see that third bead just really overshines the other ones.
I think that's also just from lack of cleaning.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what it's from. They just look a little low. Looks like you could have had some more metal. You're probably a little low before you went to cap it. Make sure that fill pass is bevel to bevel before you go to cap that off. But other than that, not too bad. I'd like to see it clean so we can really look at it. But
travel speed looks good. Runoff tabs good. Keep it clean.
Heat looks good, especially that last one.
I mean, I'm gonna do a 7 out of 10. You just need to keep it cleaner, honestly.
Yeah. After you get done welding, hit it with the wire wheel or brush. 7 out of 10. Keep it up. Good job.
Oh, first time trying a root with 6010. Been welding a couple months. Age 15.
That's the first root you've put in.
For vertical.
Oh, for vertical, vertical root? I didn't catch that.
I mean,
Besides your tacks, your ends, Got a nice run right here. Maybe a little undercut. You can get some more push through.
I almost want to see you put just a little bit bigger landing on it. You got a lot of material pushing through that. It's really heavy. It's real wide. You got some globby spots. Put a little bit heavier of a landing on those bevels and see what that will help you with, or even turn down your heat and just run a little slower. But you got a lot of metal going in there. That's a really wide route. I don't know. I mean, it could be a million different things, but I would just say either bigger landings or turn down and run just a hair slower. But you're a little thick on that route, and your tie-ins, you need to grind those tie-ins and actually hit them. When you're doing anything structural, if you're gonna run a route, give yourself like a 1-inch tack. Give yourself plenty of meat to grind out that tack and still run up onto it without burning through the backside of that plate. I mean, steps are consistent.
Yeah, I like the consistency in every step you're doing.
You can pull a couple straps from it.
Yeah, just you got probably a tie-in right here in the middle. Feather that down before you go to fire back up into that, and you want to make sure you want to blow this open before you get to it. Open that keyhole up, just because you got a little weak spot right there, and then just you're coming off these tacks right here. But other than that, really good consistency. I'd like to see a side profile to see how much
really
metal you have
out.
sticking out. But other than that, nice vertical for your first vertical.
First
route.
one, 8.
Yeah, really consistent with your steps. Not bad. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. For your first one, you're gonna improve a lot. How old is this?
16, 15.
15. Wow, that's pretty good for 15. I can't wait to see in a couple years out here at Western Welding Academy. Start welding on some pipe. I'd say 7 out of 10. First one. Pretty solid. 15 years old.
Not bad at all. Albert, age 18, stick weld. This was my first 2G plate from my 3rd week of welding school. Looks pretty good, dude. I mean, you got some undercut issues, but other than that,
Get that first bead in there more. That's a pet peeve of mine. I don't like all that metal outside that bevel. I'd like it just to kiss that bevel, and it'd really help with your either you can go to 2 beads or on your 3rd bead too to help with that undercut. If you get that first bead is key. Turn that heat up. Don't be scared to run it a little hotter. You got a lot of metal on the top. You definitely have room to turn it up.
Is that an arc mark?
Arc mark.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, little trap slag in there.
So another thing. Oh, now that I'm looking at this closer, you can see actually quite a bit of it.
Yeah, when you look back at
So
this TV, you can
there's
really
actually a lot of little dots through these welds.
Well, this is a whole trap slag right there.
Yeah, basically what you're doing is you're not
Pinholes.
keeping that stick in there enough. You're letting it kind of pull out, but you need to lay that stick in there, or that rod, sorry, and keep it from shooting velocity. You're pulling away too far, and you got some undercut. So unfortunately, I caught that at the last second, and I'm gonna have to give you a 4. You got undercut and porosity. It's 2 of the worst things you can get welding.
Yeah, this undercut will help a lot if you get this first bead up in here some more. Or if you ever have to, run you a 4th bead. But this trap slag right here, no. You got to grind that out.
Yep, it's a failed weld at that point.
What'd you say, 4 out of 10?
I think I'm gonna go back down to a 3 out of 10. Like the longer I look at this, I like it less and less, unfortunately.
I give it a 4 out of 10. Man, I got a tickle in my throat.
Oh, he lily padding hard. Andrew Gardner, age 17, 6010, 2F fillet. Dude, you need to step those like 3 times closer. For every step you're doing, there should be 3 steps. Yeah, like I said, like you're lily padding. You're creating big old lily pads in your weld, and You know, the only thing I picture is like a frog jumping lily pad to lily pad. Those have no rhyme or reason to them. You just need to tighten those steps tenfold, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, tighter steps for sure.
You must be dancing out of that puddle. I'm not even sure if you can see where you're going.
All the buckshot everywhere.
That's just, yeah, I mean, you're long arcing it, you're stepping it wild. You need to tighten those steps up and slow down. Welding is a very slow process. I mean, that was probably one of the most eye-opening things that like I learned welding is I went from framing houses to welding, and framing houses it's very quick, and welding is very slow. It's very tedious and requires a lot of precision. So you can't just be out there jumping around all crazy like that.
I like his lily pads. You just gotta close them up. You know, each one of these should be higher here, higher here.
I'm gonna give this 2. I think yeah, I could.
Some porosity here.
I think if I stood on those 2 together, it'd snap in half.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4 out of a 10.
I'm gonna give it a 2. There's no structural integrity behind it, unfortunately. Angel, age 16, stick weld, second day ever stick welding.
Little rough, but second day. We all got to start somewhere.
She's only using a chipping hammer to clean that too.
Yeah, you need to get a grinder. You need to get that thing locked into place so you can hit that thing with a rock, get that material nice and shiny, and slow way down. You're just dragging. Slow down. Watch that puddle. Don't watch that rod. Slow down. Clean that thing up.
Unfortunately, like, there's a little too much to unpack on this. There's about 9 different things I could tell you. The only thing I will tell you is right here actually looks pretty solid. You're on the right track right here. So if you can just work on recreating that spot and put in a lot of hood time hours, I think you'll be okay. But for your second day just starting, there's a lot to unpack. There's not much I can really say, unfortunately, other than you need to get that mill scale off and start running bead after bead after bead.
Yeah, right here you try to do overlap, which is nice, but you got to slow down. Let these fuse together. Okay, just going too fast. Slow down. Let that puddle do the work. Not bad. 2 out of 10. You got to start somewhere.
Yep, 2 out of 10 doesn't mean you can't go up from there though. You're starting to get the idea of it. There's a piece where you have the idea of it. So now it's just about becoming consistent.
Clean that material before you start welding.
Sherman Ruiz, age 14, stick welding.
Age 14. Dude, that's a nice bead.
Yeah, the only thing I want to say is almost with everyone's issue when they're running horizontal is your body has like a natural tendency to like drop that arm, especially as that rod burns down. So work on pushing your hand into that weld rather than watching that rod fall down and trying to keep it attached to that metal. You can see on the left side it's, you know, a half a bead, like it's a bead and a half away from the top plate, and on the bottom side it's 3 beads away. So just work on pushing that hand into that weld as that rod burns down rather than letting that hand drop as the rod burns down. Not bad though, consistency's okay.
Yeah, really good consistency. Looks like you're probably using a chipping hammer, which I'm not a fan of chipping hammers. Just clean that weld, clean that material. You'll be doing just fine. I'll give it 6 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 5. 5 out of 10.
Gosh.
Brenton Vaughn, age 29, stick weld. It was only my second time with no prior training or schooling. Well,
Right? I mean, no prior. It looks like
it looks like you have no prior training, but it's also not the worst thing I've ever seen.
a bonus for him to get the rod arced up and welding.
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive in itself.
You struck an arc, maintained a straight line, so that's a win right there on itself. But you definitely you need to slow down and let that fill out. Your toe lines and your edges aren't catching either side of material very well at any spot.
Yeah, you got a weird angle.
So really just slow down, turn up, and burn. Like
Burn.
you, for your
Grind that
second,
material down before you start putting a weld on there.
Yeah.
And that'll help you a long way. Got a few spots here, just it didn't fuse. You got porosity in here. But no training, that's not bad at all.
not the worst thing I've ever seen. Well, all right, guys. Well, I guess that is the end of our time. I have to go back to work now. So I will see you guys later. Thank you.
Second shift. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for joining the live. We'll see y'all next time.